What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Alrighty, welcome back, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's been, as Marvin just said, 13 years or some shit. What did you say? 13 weeks?
16 weeks.
16 weeks.
It always feels like so long when we skip a week. I wonder what that's all about.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 weeks, though. We're
Yeah.
back. Been a lot going on in the entertainment world with the biz that pops. I mean, the culture that pops, rather. I've mixed showbiz and pop culture together. That was weird. Yeah, we missed last week, but we're back now, and we got a good one today. It's Make Marvin Watch Day, baby. Episode
Memorial Day
133.
weekend.
Yeah, Memorial Day. Currently Memorial Day. I just got back from barbecue, had some fucking lobster rolls. That shit was delicious.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
And Marvin got to watch Young Guns for the first time, so we're going to go ahead and talk about that a little bit later. Did you guys do anything for Memorial Day or what?
Now, I was telling Marvin, the kids get out of school next week, so we're in the process of putting in an above ground pool right now, like 20-foot pool. So
I thought
it's been working.
Don't you rent the house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And they're letting you do that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Nice. You're still a little off center. Jog yourself over a tiny bit more. No, other way. There you go. Perfect. That's nice. Pool's good, especially in the Cali heat.
Yeah, it's going to be like 100, 115 degrees here in a couple of weeks.
Sheesh. Ooh, fuck all that. I was going to say to you, Marvin, that you've escaped the heat, the desert heat, but it probably gets hotter in Carolina, huh? Even though it's not the desert, you got that southern heat.
Get that humid heat instead of that dry heat. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends. I prefer the humidity, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't even get that humid here, but I fucking can't stand the humidity. You know what we get here is like cool humidity when it's like cool out, but it's still humid. That shit's annoying.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's colder.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I don't understand it, but yeah. It's finally getting warm. It's been like rainy and windy here for like 2 weeks straight. But yeah. So how was your guys' 2 weeks? 2 weeks, well, a week off. What have you guys been up to?
Not a whole lot.
No? You been watching anything?
Yeah, actually. I watched Rust.
Rust?
And
is it like a show?
Shout out to Helena Hutchins because the cinematography was amazing.
I haven't even heard of that.
That's
that's the infamous movie where Alec Baldwin committed murder.
Correct.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yes. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed was just released from prison after serving 18 months. She's on probation for good behavior. Nice. She's not allowed to talk to the Hutchins family at all or go near them. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent flick. For a Western, it's actually pretty good as far as modern Westerns go. But it has a few problems, but the cinematography is amazing.
It
looks really good. Yeah, the story's just okay. It's a chase movie. But yeah, I mean, the cinematography was amazing. Was the only point I really wanted to make. I watched it, I think, last night.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was good.
How about
Other than that, not a whole lot.
You been watching anything? You've been grinding these last couple of weeks. What you grinding now?
What have I watched? I finished The Studio. I finished Last of Us, Andor. I finished the second season of Gemstones.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Second season. Are you liking Gemstones?
That's right. I was really.
Don't say it.
I'm just only on like the first or second episode of the third season, and it's all right so far.
I think
it'll probably get better, but it's just kind of whatever for the first couple episodes.
Did you like the first two seasons and stuff?
Yeah, first two seasons were great.
Oh, okay.
The second two, the third season is just maybe off to a little bit of a slow start.
What's going on in the third season? Remind me. I don't remember.
Is the second season the assassin, the ninja bikers or whatever? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the third season? I don't recall.
Third season is Eli is basically like semi-retired. So Jesse and the other two are kind of running the church.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Eli's sister has come back from trying to kill his wife at one point or whatever.
Eli's
Murderbot
sister?
came out. I haven't started that yet, but I want to.
Oh yeah, that fucking
Yeah,
thing.
Eli's sister. She's like, I don't know. I'm only 2 episodes in.
I don't remember. I don't recall, but
she tried to kill Eli's wife.
Oh right.
Way
Okay.
back.
Yes. I do remember. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They ruined the family or something. I don't know.
Okay. It'll pick up. Don't worry, Marvin. It's good. It doesn't get bad. I promise you. Unless, well, I don't know. Maybe you'll think differently, but we'll see.
Nah, it's good.
We'll see. I haven't watched anything these last 2 weeks. I fucking my sleep schedule just did one of those like complete corrections into the opposite direction. One night I just like crashed on my couch at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And now my body just like around 8 o'clock, I'm just like fucking just like I can't do anything at that time. Like I'm just fighting it. It's so bad.
Are you like waking up at like 2 a.m.?
No, that night I did. I fell asleep on the couch literally at like 8 o'clock. I woke up at like 4:30.
Okay.
And then now my schedule has just my cycle has just completely shifted. So I've been trying to push myself to stay up a little bit later and later, but I absolutely cannot watch anything. I have to like play a video game or something to be like physically engaged in a thing. If I just sit there, I'm passing out.
Yeah.
And I'm passing out while playing video games too. Like it's that bad. I'm not even joking. It's like, it's weird. It's like I just physically
getting
can't
old.
do it. But yeah, so
I also finished Paradise finally. That was really good.
Nice.
how was that? Good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Good plot. Not as strong of a finale as I would like, but it's still pretty good.
I forgot about that show. There's so much shit I'm backed up on. I didn't finish the studio yet. I still got the last episode to watch. The one prior,
The last two, like the 2-part, or just the second part?
the second part,
that?
which is the last episode of the season. Yeah.
That episode 9 is still the funniest.
That shit was
episode of the
hilarious.
entire-
He fucking drugged
so
everybody.
funny.
That shit was so funny. What's her name is great in that show, Zoe Kravitz.
Old school Hollywood buffet. Yeah.
What's her name is really fucking funny. The chick who played Agatha in Marvel. What's her name?
Oh my gosh, she's hilarious.
Catherine Hahn. Yeah, she's so fucking funny. She was like, I forget what she says to him exactly, but she finds out she was on like the dose that she took, and she's like, "That's why I'm so high."
Yeah, everybody was trying to act like they weren't, and then when he finally said how much it was, they're like, "No fucking wonder I'm losing my shit."
Yeah, that was fucking funny. And you know, it's funny. It's just like I felt the panic that he
7
felt.
grams.
Yeah, could you imagine, Marvin? You
and
and
then
me.
Zoe took like 21 grams.
She ate like 4 of them.
Insane. That's ridiculous.
Could you imagine, Marvin? You and me, like, we get anxious from smoking weed. Could you imagine being on fucking mushrooms like that? Oh my God, the panic would be
different.
unbelievable. Oh no,
It's different though, because
It
weed actually
little
affects
different.
your heart rate for me.
Yeah,
and
no, me
like
too.
psychedelics don't really affect my heart rate though. So
yeah, but you just
it's
like
different.
fucking just like,
Because I've done acid
and
and
it
I
didn't
was
bother
totally
you?
fine. So yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'd freak the fuck out. But the heart rate thing is what does it with weed for me,
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
which is bizarre.
it's like a physical. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's why I don't really like working out, honestly, is because I don't like the feelings associated with working out, like heavy breathing and fucking your heart rate. Like that shit makes me anxious. I don't know how people exercise and like feel fucking good. It's like makes no sense.
I actually feel like I like the heart racing.
You do?
Like it just feels right. Yeah.
Just feels
That doesn't
right.
make me anxious at all. Yeah.
Probably because you're
Like
working.
yeah, exactly. Like it's supposed to happen. It's it's different than like
just
working
sitting
out and your heart's beating at like 130, 140, but
there.
your heart is beating at 130, 140. You just hit a joint. It's like, nah, this
You're just sitting there.
this is different. I'm just sitting here. I shouldn't be feeling this.
This ain't right.
This is not fun. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
But when you make it past that, being high is pretty nice.
There's like
You just gotta make it past that hump.
Yeah, there's like the hour hump of like full on
Fighting
panic.
for your life.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
there's like a half hour, 45 minutes of like just feeling real chill. But like if I
I
could
got a
just
funny story
Hit
of when
me.
I got high when I was younger. I actually got a tattoo in remembrance of the moment.
Oh yeah, I think you
I
told me
got
about
really
that.
high and just like stupidly high. And I was freaking out in the car and I was telling my buddy, like, listen, you either got to give me some water or you got to take me to the fucking hospital right now.
I love that story. That's a good story.
So I got this to commemorate the You can't really see it, but it's just a water bottle with like a red cross symbol on it. And
I like that.
That's awesome.
Look at
that
them
commemorates
guns.
me getting too fucking high.
I like it. That's funny
Yeah.
as fuck. I love that story. It's a great story. That's how you feel
It's a
every
great
time.
story.
Just either do something or take me to the hospital. Because like one of the two things. Because I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
die.
Honestly, like when you do like work out a little bit, when you get high like that and your heart's beating, it kind of helps if you get.
Yeah, tell
Like,
me
My
about
start
it.
lady
doing a
gets the
little bit of
same way
running a
when
little
she does it. She can't do it either.
Dude,
Yeah,
the
it's
last
tough.
time I've like a couple years ago at this point, my buddy he vapes, but like he doesn't use like the oil, or at least at the time he didn't. He had this like huge apparatus that was like a vaporizer, and it like
oh yeah, one of
it-
those fucking crazy things.
yeah, it
Vaporizing flour, yeah.
yeah, and it had like a tube and shit. It was crazy. So he's
The volcano is probably what it was.
Volcano, yeah, something like that.
Classic.
And I'm-
Contraption.
I do not smoke. I've smoked like, a handful of times in my life, but I'm hitting this thing. And he's like, you're not
Oh,
doing
God.
it right. You're not doing it right. I'm like, nah, I don't feel anything. He's like, you're not doing it right. You got to go harder, harder. I took like 20 big ass hits from this thing. And we were just sitting on my couch, and I just fucking like it felt like I fell through a black hole. It just the way when it hit me, I was just like I remember like my speech I like choked. I was like I couldn't talk, and then I was just full on panicking. He's laughing at me, and I was like, dude, I have to fucking clean. I was like cleaning my room.
I gotta do something.
I was
anything.
vacuuming. Yeah, I had to do just literally anything to just not feel that way. That shit
Literally.
was crazy.
I know.
It's
the
crazy
feeling.
because weed makes me less anxious. Like I do it to retard
See,
my
that's
brain
the
a little
crazy
bit.
thing to me.
Yeah.
When I hear people say that, like, that's crazy that it actually works for people.
I need like 80s weed, shit that's weak and just like makes me feel
That's
good.
what I'm saying. I need Jamaican weed, the shit they grow in the fucking backyard.
Yeah, but that's just because it's natural. It's not fucking spiked with
That's
fucking
right.
fentanyl and all this bullshit. That's all this fucking crazy ass shit. But
Yeah.
so that episode was fucking funny.
So good. After catching up on Last of Us, I did download Last of Us 1, so maybe I'll play that and get it going.
I haven't started season 2 yet.
Neither have I. I've heard it was kind of bad, honestly. I've heard that the show is just not that good. Now, I've seen clips on TikTok that have made me be like, ugh. However, you're seeing clips out of context, not within the whole of the episode, so I'm not going to just write it off that quickly. I will be watching it. But I've seen some scenes where they're like comparing it to the game. And I was already not like fully sold on season 1. You guys know that. Like I enjoyed it. It was good, but I was just like, yeah, it was whatever. It was okay.
Yeah.
So I don't
For
know that I'm going to
me-
like season 2, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know, because like I said, I don't have that point of reference from the game
Yeah.
or that bias. But for me, the second season, specifically when they kind of go back and show like how Ellie kind of forgives Joel
Yeah.
after she was like being pissed at him for a long time.
Yep.
And that actually made me care about them more so than like the first season. Like I think they could have did the first season a lot better to get you to care more about them. But I think they kind of made up for it with some of the backstory and stuff that they gave in the second season.
What's weird is, so I don't know how the second season ends, but what you just said is bizarre to me because, so, I mean, not to spoil anything. I mean, you probably know most of it at this point now, but like the show.
No, I don't, not really.
But you watched season 2.
Oh yeah, I watched.
Yeah. So you know, like Joel fucking dies, right? Obviously.
Oh yeah, he dies early in season 2.
Yeah. So
yeah,
basically the whole thing with like the beginning of the second game is that Ellie has this like lingering resentment because she knows that Joel lied to her.
Right.
And she felt like that was her purpose to sacrifice herself for a cure.
Yep.
Joel was never going to let that happen. Great. They should have just never.
They showed that pretty well.
Yeah.
They showed that pretty well in the show too, I'll say.
So she has that lingering resentment. He feels it, she feels it, and a lot, and like literally within the first hour of the game, he's dead. Right? And it's like a shock. And she goes on this fucking course for vengeance or whatever. And throughout the playtime, you get flashbacks of her time with Joel, and it's fucking heartbreaking. I'm getting choked up even thinking about it now.
Yeah, it was.
But she doesn't forgive him until like the end of the game. So I don't understand what they're doing with season 2 and 3. I know I heard the showrunner say season 3 is going to be about Abby and like whatever.
Yes.
She
I
didn't
saw that
fully
too.
forgive him. She pretty much said, I could try to forgive you. And that's kind of where
Yeah, see, that's a
it
weird,
left off.
that's a weird speed up. That's a fucking post-credit scene in the game. That's like the big reveal of like, holy fuck, like how heartbreaking that she was gonna forgive him and then like he dies. Oh, I'm getting choked up even thinking about it.
I mean, it worked in the show though.
Maybe it does.
Pretty well.
Maybe it does. I don't know. But the stuff that basically my whole issue with the first game is that I don't think they earned the relationship that you care about them that much because it was a fast season.
You mean the first season? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't feel like they earned it. And then by the time he says that baby girl, he calls her baby girl, it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, they should have slowed it down a lot.
But also, my biggest problem with it, and we've talked about this before, and I just can't separate myself from the game. I just can't do it, is that I've seen this story told better. I've seen it performed better. Pedro Pascal's great. Bella Ramsey's great. Fine. But
that's fine.
But those two actors in the game, their names escape me at the moment. They are Joel and Ellie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I
get that.
Like I've just seen it done better, and that's
at that
really,
point you might have to just say then the show's just not for you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You've already experienced the better version of it.
100%. I'm still going to watch it because I love the story, and I'm, obviously I want to experience it. I'm not trying to like write it off. I'm just saying I'm approaching it from like, I think like a behind the eight ball sort of look at it, because it's like I already, my judgment's made of like, I really don't want to compare the two. I don't, but it's impossible. So
for sure.
That's really what it is. But I've seen some scenes in clips where it's like, okay, that's how they went about that. But whatever, we'll see. I'll wait to judge it when I watch the whole thing. I'm sure it's good. It's just whatever.
Remakes are never generally as good as the original, and you could argue that it's not a remake; it's an adaptation because it's game to film. But the game is the story, so and like you said, did it better in the first place,
right?
So makes sense. And
that happens a lot of the times, right? I mean, it's like how many times do you see a book that's adapted into a movie, and you're like, well, the book is better, or
it's tough.
Yeah, it is hard.
It's like 100 hours. Oh shit! It just went dark.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Fucking raptor.
Yeah, go ahead. You can keep going.
It's like it's just like 100 hours versus 30 hours, right? Like it's so different. It's hard. It's really hard for them to do it.
Oh shit!
I feel like they did. I feel like they're doing.
Oh my god! What? I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said the rapture. His camera came back and he wasn't in the chair.
Yeah, I had to get up. My tab crashed for some weird reason.
Left Behind.
Oh fuck!
My mom used to read these books called Left Behind. It's like
that's funny.
Basically, the rapture.
Sorry,
all these people like disappeared out of nowhere. But anyway,
what were you saying?
What was I saying? I feel like they're doing a good job with the amount of time that they're allotted for just, like I said, 100 hours versus 30 hours or whatever, right? I don't know the exact numbers, but it's hard to fit in like all the little, like you're just walking in the game and they're just like little side. It's like, it's hard.
That's where, and that's the thing, right? That's where the biggest points of relationship come in the game. It's those moments where you're just walking and talking and you're seeing how Ellie's like, oh my god, like fucking this is like a giraffe, like holy fuck,
giraffe,
like that. Those are the moments where, and slowly but surely Joel starts warming up to her, and like you eventually build that relationship where you're like, oh, this is his daughter now. And so it's not possible to do in the show for sure. Yeah. And that's where the question comes. Like maybe just some things don't need an adaptation, but whatever.
That's fair. It's hard to you got to balance like, okay, do I want to make the really good moments on hit like in this one season, or do I want to make 5 seasons just of the first game? Like it's kind of tough.
What the show is basically like the cliff notes of the game. Is essentially what that is. Folks, Dusty was a game journalist. Now he's a movie journalist for the podcast. He muckrakes all the top entertainment.
I just procure
news.
it. I don't write it. I wrote it when I was video games.
Yeah, he doesn't write it. He just gathers it and talks about it with us.
Yeah.
But it's still valued. Okay.
Well, yeah. The first one is for you, Dan, because I don't know if our audience knows, but Dan is a very well, what's the word? An astute graphic artist.
Yes, thank you.
And
graphic designer.
Yeah, graphic designer, yes. Well established. And this first article is James Gunn's DC reboot. He's unveiled the new icons that are going to be in for some of these Justice League characters. But in fact, they are not, I don't know, this is a bit of a spoiler in this article. It's not the Justice League. The trio of these characters is called the Justice Gang, which infers that the Justice League will come later. The Justice Gang is corporate, led by corporate interest. They're following some company. I guess
they're working for Maxwell Lord.
Correct. So yeah, I don't know if you want to scroll down and look at these. They showed go down a little further. You'll see like Green Lantern from the DC Comics to the James Gunn change. Okay. Yeah,
this is interesting.
Yeah, they changed them up a little bit for the movies. So yeah, I thought it would be an interesting take, because there's all kinds of modifications. But yeah.
So Marvin,
why did they do this? They kind of look kind of trash to me.
Whoa, I like trash.
They look so simplified and like, where's the personality and
so here's the thing. So now I got to do my graphic design fucking job with you, Marvin. This is my fucking hobby. I'm not trying to work. Okay. No, a logo is meant to be simple. The number one characteristic of a good logo is simplicity. If you think of every major logo on earth, of every major brand, Nike, Apple, fucking you name it, they're all what? Simple. And so I didn't see these, but I had heard James Gunn talking about it. And so you didn't watch the trailer, but part of that theme of like what it means to be a hero in a world that doesn't always make it easy to be a hero. These three other characters, there's the Green Lantern, which is which one is he? I can't remember. Not
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, but what's the guy's name? The character.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, he's he's like one of the shittier Green Lanterns. He's not like a nice guy. He's like kind of like he's not a piece of shit. Guy Gardner. He's not a piece of shit, but he's not like the best guy ever. He's like arrogant and all this stuff.
Okay.
There's Hawk Girl, and then there's Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is probably the closest to Superman out of the bunch. Like he's like a stand-up dude. But they all work for a tech billionaire named Maxwell Lord. And these heroes have existed. Superman's like kind of new on the scene. And so the movie's about Superman's naivety. Like he's going out and stopping wars and shit like he would do and not care about borders or politics or any of that stuff. Right. While these guys, they're corporatized, fucking commoditized fucking heroes, sort of like the boys, right?
Yep.
And so it's how Superman exists in this world that's like super, like he's naive. He's just there to do good. And these people are like following rules and rigid guidelines and doing it for the money and for the fame. And maybe like there's these little things following him around in the trailer. I think they're cameras. And so it's like meant to like be, I don't really know 100%, but I think it's cameras. So it's like always on the news and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it seems like, so anyway, back to what you asked. James Gunn went for like logos that are specifically like real life corporate logos. Like that's why they're so simple. They're like not meant to be comic book because they're supposed to be, these guys are supposed to stand in such stark contrast to Superman. And
got it.
One of the criticisms that a lot of people were talking about, we were just talking about the dumb criticisms of the trailer. Well, one of them is like, this movie's overstuffed. Why are there so many characters in it? It's like, guys, this is still a Superman movie, but through the lens of these other heroes, we're going to get to know who Superman is because he stands in such stark contrast to them. Where did media literacy go, bro? I don't know. But that's cool. I hadn't seen these. I like these. These are good.
Cool. Yeah. Good breakdown. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
All right. Well, bad news, guys. I think we're done. Sean Penn has declared there's no more movie stars. So I don't know how much we're going to have to talk about going into the future.
Yeah.
Time to wrap it up.
Maybe we'll talk about music.
He said Jennifer Lawrence was the last movie star.
What?
Interesting choice, but sure.
Interesting.
He was rambling on the Louis Theroux podcast. And this is interesting because Tarantino has made similar comments in regards to the superhero film industry.
Yep.
It's like, you don't really have movie stars. Like, you know, you have like Captain America. It's hard to see him in any other roles after, you know, Chris has moved on from Captain America. But, you know, that's kind of where it's leaning towards. But
Man, I haven't seen Michael B. Jordan, I guess.
Right.
But the cantankerous Harrison Ford thinks it's rubbish. So we got different sides of the thing. What do you think, Dan?
I mean, I kind of agree with what he's saying. I think I mentioned this like a couple of months ago that like there's no leading men in Hollywood anymore. And it's not like from like a conservative, like fucking, you know, sexist fucking perspective, like, and there's no men anymore. But like back in the day, in like the golden age of Hollywood, there were like leading men. There was like Humphrey Bogart and like that like ilk of guys who were movie stars. And like you would go to the movie to see Humphrey Bogart in a movie. You would go to the movies to see what's his name? Charlton Heston or who played
John Wayne.
John Wayne, yeah, John Wayne was one. Clint Eastwood. Like there's obviously a whole slew of them. And that has, I think, kind of died out because of big budget movies like the Marvel movies and stuff like that. I would say, like, I don't know why I'm fucking lifting my shirt while I'm talking about this. I would say that I'm fucking getting naked while we're talking about leading men. I would say that, like, there are still some for sure, but it's different but it's because the movies are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I like partially agree. I understand what he's saying, but he probably didn't articulate. Like, I don't know if Jennifer Lawrence is the right person. Not that I have any problem with her, but
I feel like it was just Sean Penn being weird. Talking.
He is weird.
Because they've asked him, he's like, he hasn't even seen really any of Timothée Chalamet's movies and like all these young stars up and coming. He's like, no, I don't. It's all like he gave up on Hollywood. And he's like, yeah, the last good movie I saw, Jennifer Lawrence was in it and she's big. So she's the last movie star. It didn't make any sense. But Harrison's take, he said, I don't think the question is whether or not there are any movie stars. There's wonderful actors coming up every day. Whether or not they become movie stars is really not the point. If movies need stars, they will find them. I've never fucking understood being a movie star. I'm an actor. I tell stories. I'm part of a group of people who work together, collaborate on telling stories. I'm an assistant storyteller. That's what I am. So even Harrison Ford doesn't really consider himself a movie star, even though he is.
I mean, that's a good point. What were you going to say, Marvin?
Has he seen, like, what about Robert Pattinson? Like, that guy's a movie star. He can play any fucking role and kill it.
Yeah. I don't know what he's on about here. I think it's so ridiculous that he would say this. Like, what is even the point? And there's no movie stars anymore. And why Jennifer Lawrence? Why is she the last one? Because that's the last good movie you saw. Like, it's weird. Sean Penn's a weird guy. So I don't know.
He is weird.
I don't know.
That is a bizarre take. Like I said, I kind of understand what he's saying, but he didn't articulate it in the way that I did.
Yeah, I mean, I get Quentin Tarantino's take better. He's like, you know, you get typecast sometimes in these superhero films, you know, so maybe that's it, but I don't know.
Even not even the typecasting too is like, well, it's not a typecast. It's just that, like, you know, unfortunately, Christian Bale has done so many roles, right? And so many roles where he's like completely transformed his body. That's kind of what he's known for, is like becoming a different human being for a role. But will always be known as Batman. Like, that's kind of like the thing. Chris Evans will always be known as Captain America. Robert Downey Jr. now, as great as an actor as he is, he will always be known as Iron Man. I think that's probably what Sean Penn is talking about, or that's what Tarantino at least was talking about.
That's what Tarantino, yes.
There's still movie stars.
That's only like that's like superhero guys though. Like,
yeah, but what's happening is that's becoming the dominant brand of film, right? We talked about a couple of weeks ago the death of the blockbuster, right? Like, the blockbusters are just only comic book movies nowadays. They're not, you know, like we talked about it when we talked about Sinners. Like, Sinners is a blockbuster, but it doesn't feel like one because for the last 15 years, a blockbuster has been a Marvel movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it's different. Blockbusters used to be Jaws. Blockbusters used to be fucking half the movies that we've made you watch here on the podcast. You know what I mean? So like the media landscape is changing. But so just it's because the movies are changing is what it really is. It's not necessarily anything else. But like I kind of get what he's saying, what they're both saying. But yeah, interesting.
All right, on to the next one. Our boy Taylor Sheridan. His movie F.A.S.T, which is an acronym. I don't think I know what it stands for, though. I didn't look that up. Is resurrected once again at WB. It's got an April 23rd, 2027 release date. Brendan Sklinner, the guy we just watched in the Drop show, who's also stars in Taylor Sheridan's 1923. He seems to be becoming a lead man of what we were talking about. He's on the come up here. But yeah, F.A.S.T, it tells the story of a special forces commando down on his luck after returning stateside. He's then tapped by the DEA to lead a black ops strike team against the CIA, protected drug dealers in his town. This was penned in 2010s while he was writing his movies such as Sicario or Hell or High Water. So I have high hopes for this one because this is when Sheridan was making bangers. Not that he's still not, but his shows aren't as good as his movies, I think.
I agree.
But WB picked it up with Chris Pratt to star in, but that fell through. Amazon grabbed it for a series. That fizzled out, and then David Zaslav came back in and renewed interest after Sheridan's universe is doing so good. So this movie, while it was written back in the 2010s, is coming back, and Chris Pratt, or not Chris Pratt, he was set to star. I don't know who they got to star. Oh, Brendan Sklinner. I already said that. So, yeah.
Old Zaslav.
Yep.
Nice.
So this is
speaking of
a Hell or High Water era Taylor Sheridan project. So
yeah, Sicario and Hell or High Water. Yeah, could be.
Okay, that's exciting.
All right, and speaking of, HBO Max is back.
Yeah,
I heard.
We talked about it. They went away. They just called it Max. Nobody liked it. They kind of tried to spin why they brought it back. And now it's HBO Max again because everybody likes the HBO brand. People trust the HBO brand. It's a good brand. So getting rid of it was kind of foolish, but anyway,
what did they get rid of? I don't even know what the whole.
So the streaming service, it was called HBO Max. It was called HBO Max, and they dropped the HBO and just called it Max.
Gotcha.
And within it hasn't even been 2 years. I don't think it's been less than a year almost. I don't remember when they changed it, but we talked about it on the podcast, so it hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's now called HBO Max again. It's not just Max.
Nice. Makes no fucking sense. That would be like us making a second second channel and calling it fucking podcast. Like we're dropping the fucking
just simplify it completely.
Dropping the brand entirely. It's so stupid.
It makes I don't understand that.
All right.
Alex Garland.
Oh yeah. This news is crazy.
This is awesome. It confirmed. Now, we've talked about this. I think it was rumors before, but this is actually confirmed now. So confirmed to be writing and directing a live action Elden Ring for A24 and Bandai Namco. Now, Alex Garland, obviously, he did his most recent movie is Warfare. I have not watched that yet. We reviewed Civil War. Annihilation was a good movie. Ex Machina, a great movie. He also did 28 Days Later, and he's doing 28 Years Later. Now, he's only getting a writing credit and a producer credit for 28 Years Later, so I don't know what his total involvement is, but 4 of his 5 movies he did for A24. I'm actually interested to see what he does with this. What's Game of Thrones guy? George R.R. Martin. He's got a writer credit for this too, and he's supposed to be helping out because the article says he wrote the story for Elden Ring, which is not true. He wrote the lore for Elden Ring. So he wrote all the backstory. The story for the game was written by somebody else. He didn't touch it, but he wrote all the lore for the characters that are in the game. Right. So he definitely does have his hands on it, and he will be involved in it. Just anything he can do not to finish his last Game of Thrones book, I guess. Because that's
almost more important, the lore. Sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, definitely. Absolutely. Backstory is important. So yeah, listen, I'm really excited about this one.
Alex Garland only makes bangers. That's just what it is. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely exciting. I've never played Elden Ring, but I've heard very good things about it. Oh my God,
it's so good. I've played it twice now through, almost 3 times. So my buddy Sean, shout out. He's probably playing the new spinoff that they're releasing here in a day or two, but
I don't think I've ever heard.
It's a great game.
I don't think DLC coming out.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard a bad thing about the game. So You know,
It's amazing.
I still want to play it. I haven't played it yet either. I've watched people play it though. And I'm excited to see what kind of monsters, which bosses or whatever there.
Yes.
I wonder if it's going to be new bosses or if it's going to be even any type of. I imagine it has to be at least one like boss fight scene.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't think they might not do a lot of them, but they should do like an epic one.
He'll crush
with
this.
some crazy
There should be at least
That'll be
one.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was confused because I thought he had said after Civil War like he was done making movies, but I guess not. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, guess not. Well, he made Warfare too after that. So
Well, he wrote Warfare. He didn't direct it, or he co-directed
right,
it or something.
yeah. He's mostly he does a lot of writing, but he doesn't do as much directing. But 4 of his 5 movies he has done were for A24, so he may be done. But I mean, this is A24 jumping into the big leagues. You know, we talked about it a lot. They did a lot of small movies. They've got the money now, so they're starting to be able to produce these big budget movies.
You got Alex Garland making an adaptation of probably one of the best games ever made, according to people who've played it.
It is. It absolutely is.
For A24, ooh, this just might be, could be the world's first good adaptation of a video game. You never know.
Yeah.
Could be.
We'll see.
And something like Elden Ring is so, I feel like it's open up for like a lot of interpretation. Like it's not as straightforward as something like The Last of Us.
Totally,
so it's,
well, that's the thing. Yeah.
It's harder to mess up. I feel like it's harder to mess up something like Elden Ring.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot more creative leeway for sure. I mean, The Last of Us is what it is. It's just mostly dialogue and like things happening that you've already seen before. You have an opportunity with this world where you could just show things that haven't even been seen. Like you could pretty much make a movie about anything.
He could dial in on like a random piece of lore if you wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't even have to touch the story within the game.
Yeah.
As long as you're using the lore that the characters are based upon, you could tell a completely different story and be amazing.
Absolutely.
Fire. Can't wait.
All right.
Well, we got an industry insider, Daniel Rickman. This is be a comic book movie. This is for you, Dan. I don't know. There are plans for Silver Surfer to be in multiple projects after the Fantastic Four first steps, including a solo film.
Let's go.
So it looks like Julia Garner may be our Silver Surfer and not just...
But hold up. They had already announced the Silver Surfer special presentation. Is that what this is talking about?
Multiple projects, including a solo film. The solo film could be the special presentation, but multiple projects. So she was asked about it, and she said 100% she would love to do it. So it sounds like they're eyeing her to hang on to be the Silver Surfer.
So that sucks.
Let's go.
What do you mean, let's go?
I'm just here to watch Dan squirm.
I mean, I'm
here for it. I love Julia Garner though, so I mean,
yeah, she's a great actor, but like, what are we doing, guys? Like, Kamala lost. We don't got a pander anymore.
Nora's back. Remember I was making that joke?
Nora
Reed.
Yeah. Nora Rad.
Rad. Sorry.
Reed. Fucking God.
Reed is
Reed Richards. Yeah, I can see the confusion. What else you got for us, Dusty? What's your last piece?
All right. Well, this isn't really new news. This is old news, but it's still relevant because I don't know if Marvin knows any of this stuff. Marvin, do you know who Ramon Estevez is?
Estevez. I know Estevez.
Ramon Estevez. Yeah, you know the name. Well, Ramon Estevez was born in 1940. He's an actor who adopted a stage name. Reportedly combined the names of CBS casting director who gave him his first big break and a Catholic archbishop. These two guys were Robert Dale Martin and Fulton J. Sheen. And if you put that together, that's Martin Sheen.
Yep.
Now, he had a couple of kids, Carlos and Emilio Estevez. Now, Emilio is in this movie that we're about to talk about, and so is Carlos. Now, Martin Sheen kind of regretted changing his name, but he thought for Hollywood, a lot of actors do this. They'll change their name for Hollywood.
He was kind of pressured to, actually.
Yeah, he was. And he kind of regretted it. Mm-hmm. And then so when his sons came up and they got into acting, they both were going to keep the Sheen name. Obviously, we know Charlie Sheen decided to change his name. Carlos changed his name to Charlie because we all know Carlos is Spanish for Charlie, Chuck. And Emilio Estevez, he actually started off wanting to change his name to Sheen, but his father talked him out of it. Yep. So now he has two sons that are carrying on both of his names, and they're both pretty big in the Hollywood.
It's interesting. Most people think that Estevez is the made up name.
Right.
That Sheen is the family name, but it's actually the opposite.
Yes. Correct.
Yep. I looked that up because I was confused.
Yeah.
Did
I
you?
had to figure out which one was the real one.
Nice.
Yeah,
like,
Carlos
oh,
Carlos Estevez
Fucking
or
Mexican. I didn't even know.
Charlie Sheen.
No, I said he's Mexican. I didn't even know.
They said he's Mexican. I was like, Jesus.
No.
Damn.
Oh, bigot.
Charlie grew up making amateur films with his brother Emilio and friends Rob Lowe and Sean Penn. We're circling all the way back around.
Oh, yeah.
But they're in an interview a year or two back. Charlie Sheen talked about it. He said, as far as the established name, having witnessed Emilio opt for the family name, I figured that how Pop has established Sheen in the business, I should probably carry it on after he's retired. He claimed in the same interview that Emilio started out as a Sheen, but the dad sort of talked him into it, adopting the Estevez name. So, yeah. These two guys have been in a couple movies together. I think Men at Work. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
And then this one, I think there's another one, but I don't remember. But, two brothers in a movie with different names. So that's the Estevez story.
Nice. All right. Thanks for the news, Dusty. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Once
sir.
again, a lot to cover, a lot of good stuff, lots to be excited about. Folks, it's Make Marvin Watch Day. Once a month, we make Marvin watch a movie he hasn't seen because he hasn't seen shit.
No, that's not true anymore.
Nah,
I've seen
that's
more
not
than
true,
a
yeah.
lot of people now.
We put a dent in it.
We're getting there.
I'm kind of like mid-tier status.
We're getting there. Yeah. Each month me and Dusty take turns picking, and this was Dusty's month. Recently there was an interview with Emilio Estevez. They did like a get together of I think like the Brat Pack got together for 16 Candles or some shit. Oh no, it was St. Elmo's Fire like reunion or something. And he was interviewed and he said like he's writing a couple of scripts, and one of them was a third sequel to Young Guns, and so Dusty decided to make Marvin watch Young Guns this month. So yeah, let's get into that. So Young Guns is basically what happens when Hollywood says, what if the Wild West, but let's make it fucking hot guys with good hair. It's chaotic, there's drama, it's a little bit ridiculous at times, but does it actually work, or is it just a cowboy cosplay? Let's find out what Marvin thought about it. I haven't seen this movie in a really long time, honestly. It came out in 1988, directed by Christopher Kane, written by John Fusco, and starring all the hot and up-and-coming actors of the 80s: Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Lou Diamond Phillips, Dermot Mulroney. You got a couple of Hollywood legends in this: Terrence Stamp, Jack Palance, Terry O'Quinn. So fucking
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise was? I didn't even catch Tom Cruise. Where was Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise appears as a cameo at the final battle. He's a soldier. You don't see him unless you're looking for him.
Really?
That's crazy.
But Tom Cruise is in this movie.
Sure.
That's crazy. So what is this movie? Well, this is a stylized, like I said, youth-driven retelling of the Lincoln County War, which was a real event. The movie's loosely based on this real event, and it's about a group of young gunmen led by Billy the Kid, and they become deputies to avenge the murder of the rancher who basically was their benefactor. He was teaching them how to read and educating them and stuff. But Billy is a little bit of a hothead, and he takes their he's not even a hothead. He's just fucking out of his mind, kind of. And
He's insane.
He takes their authority a little bit too far, and they start to become hunted and stuff like that. So it's this gang that was real, reimagined with the 1980s like Brat Pack adjacent this group. And right off the bat, before I hand it over to you guys, I was like, I honestly like didn't remember a lot of the movie, but like what struck me the most is like how fucking 80s it is. You're basically watching Top Gun, but it's a Western. Like the music and stuff, it's literally Top Gun.
Yeah, I was gonna say the music was strange since it was a Western, but
yeah,
they used a typical 80s action movie music. It was different, but it worked.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi, they wanted to use Dead or Alive, I think.
That's in the second
but
one.
He wouldn't let them use it. Right. He wouldn't let them use it, I don't think, in this one. But he wrote Blaze of Glory for the movie, and he also cameoed as a prisoner in the movie. So
He's in the second one, isn't he?
Fire.
Isn't he in the gang in the second one?
he might be.
I'm pretty sure he is. But yeah, so this isn't about old school cowboys. This is the Breakfast Club with rifles. What'd you think about it, Marvin?
So I had never seen this movie. Shocker.
Right.
Kind of the whole point of the podcast. No, I thought this was really good, actually. The only thing that threw me off a little bit was the music, like I said, but it did work out. It wasn't too jarring for it to be, because Western, I'm used to like the fucking like, I don't even know, but you know exactly what I mean, the Western
absolutely
music. It was good. I thought this was great. It was funny that we watched this, and then shortly after I watched that Gemstone episode where
where they're watching,
he basically recreates the scene where Billy the Kid is pushed out of the chest, except it's his wife, and it fails horribly, and she just gets fucking blasted. That shit was so funny. She flies out of the window, and she's like, you can tell like she fucked up her back or something. She gets out of the chest, and she's like shooting in the sky, like just missing, and then she just gets fucking mowed down. It's the funniest thing. It's the funniest
They're watching it in one of the episodes, I think, in season 2. They're watching the movie. Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's the same episode, yeah. Because they ran off and escaped to like Alaska or whatever, and then all that happens. But yeah, this was good. Billy the Kid tripping on peyote was definitely not on my bingo card. That's for sure. Did not expect that at all.
It was awesome.
Did you?
It was so funny, like when he blasted the guy in the bathroom, and he's like, "By the way, you're under arrest," and he's like fucking laughing at his chaotic laugh. It was so good.
Yeah, it's a little cheesy at times, but it's like good 80s
it was,
cheese.
But it was good. Yeah.
Because, and it's interesting that, like, I guess this is just what you would have done in the 80s. Like we were just talking about it with like Marvel movies and like the death of the movie star or whatever, and how, actors are typecast. Well, they were typecast back then too, and like these guys were just in like these like teen coming of age like rom-com kind of movies. This kind of like blended those things. It's such a weird genre blend. Like it's like, I don't know, it's just bizarre. It's like one of the only movies like it that I feel is in existence.
Well, there's an interesting thing about this movie. None of the fight scenes were choreographed. They let the actors ad-lib everything.
You could tell.
So all the shootouts and fights, it was on the fly.
You could definitely tell. It feels that way. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry. I got to take this. Come on. Okay, sorry about that.
All good.
So, yeah, it's just an interesting blend of like that 80s, like these 80s, like I keep saying, I want to say child actors, but they're not. They were just in these like coming of age movies that were so popular back then, the John Hughes movies.
Right.
Now, the movie blends this real history with like whatever the Hollywood myth you want to call it. But Billy the Kid is like a folk hero, but he's also the impulsive sort of sociopath that the movie sort of frames him as. And I thought about while watching it, like whether or not the movie sort of romanticizes the violence a little bit.
Sure.
What Western doesn't, though?
It's Hollywood in the 80s, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel
We'll
like
watch
all
Commando.
Westerns romanticize the violence.
yes, they do.
They do. Yeah. But this did it.
You know, everyone's toting guns, fucking, you know.
This did it in a way that I think serves the character, though, because he is a psychopath. He's just like, woohoo, yeah, like fucking killing people and shit and like just going crazy. But the movie's like you mentioned, you know, it's a little bit silly sometimes. It's, you know, it's fast paced. It's not like your typical Western, and I think that's why it kind of works. What I thought was interesting too, watching it for the first time in a while, was that I guess they never intended on making a sequel, because the movie ends with like kind of giving you like a summary of the rest of his life. It's like, hey, all right, well, this was the Lincoln County War, and you know, he went on to get killed by Pat Garrett, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's
like,
right. Yeah.
But the second one
and
is
they make a sequel.
yeah, so they made the sequel.
That's hilarious.
The second one is actually about like Pat Garrett sort of like hunting him down. And the movie doesn't really show it that much, but him and Pat Garrett were friends. And when Pat Garrett was made sheriff, like it was kind of like he was made to, you know, hunt down Billy the Kid. He had to do his thing.
He had to do it, yeah. They showed it once, and there's like one scene where he's like,
Yeah,
we're calling my
around.
friend Pat or whatever,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he doesn't shoot him in the back. So
The movie, surprisingly, for as a little, kind of being a little bit silly, has quite a little bit of heart to it too. Like by the end of the movie, you know, you kind of crack a little bit of a tear or two. I don't know, at least I did, but I cry at everything, so it doesn't matter. But the fact that like the way that these guys were all sort of like abrasive towards him, like they saw his hot-headedness and how it was good. They knew he was going to get them in trouble. They knew he was going to get them all killed, but yet they still became like brothers, and they ended up like, you know, dying together essentially is what happens. But I thought that was dope, and that kind of was was pretty touching, and how they showed it. The ending though, that end fight was like so funny when the dude gets fucking gunned down with the Gatling gun, and he's just like,
oh my god,
that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's not a lot known about Billy the Kid, really. There's not a lot of like stuff that
one photograph
of him. There's not a lot of like, there's a lot of like mixing of fact or fiction. It's hard to kind of know what's what. I liked how Estevez played him as sort of like smug and charismatic and like that borderline sort of psychopath that he was. Because even though he is like that, and you know he's like a fucking crazy guy, like you still actually like him, and you're still kind of rooting for him, because at the end of the day, he was doing the right thing. Kind of, he was getting vengeance for like a wrongdoing.
Well, I mean, and if they wouldn't have killed the guy, he could have potentially turned out different, right? Like, they killed the guy's
gunning
mentor,
down Henry
like,
Tunstall.
Yeah. Dusty, do you know like the rest of like the myth and legend around Billy the Kid, like post his death?
Not a whole lot, no.
So we talked about it a little bit when this news came out that they were making a third one, but like the legend surrounding Billy the Kid is that he was never actually killed by Pat Garrett.
Right.
Supposedly he survived either because Pat Garrett let him go or because he just survived. And over the years, there were many, many people that claimed to be Billy the Kid. Most famously, this dude in the 50s claimed to be Billy the Kid. And apparently there was like a forensic scientist brought in from New York to look at a picture of this dude alongside the picture of Billy the Kid, the only known picture of Billy the Kid. and he wasn't given any context as to what he was looking at, but he said like there's like a very high probability that they were the same person.
Damn.
So it's kind of sick that like to think that like it just it like makes the legend sort of a little bit stronger in that like, oh, maybe he did just survive and like go on to do his own thing. So I think the third movie Emilio said is like going to be something about him as an older guy. There's another movie Dusty and I watched called Old Henry, which is
great.
Oh, it's such a fucking good movie. Much different than this, but it is so good.
Yes.
And it's about like an older Billy the Kid who is just sort of defending his land and
living a quiet life, but you can't stay away from trouble.
It's a fuck around and find out movie, but with like an old Billy the Kid.
Yes, it's so good.
Sounds good.
It is it's a great movie. Old Henry, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like a sleeper too, huh? Like I don't even remember that. Like, I don't remember hearing about that or anything. You had just told
Scruggs,
me about
what's his name?
It was Tim Blake Nelson.
Oh, Tim Blake Nelson, yeah.
He was in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
The Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, for an 80s action movie, like kind of, I think it's great. It's a great movie. I mean, it's historically popular. It is a little bit cheesy, but it's, to me, what really sets it apart is that blend. That it's a stylistic blend that I don't know that I've seen outside of this movie.
I mean, it depends. So going back like to the soundtrack, I've only really kind of seen this done one other time, and that's with Heath Ledger's A Knight's Tale, where you're in like this medieval time, and he's supposed to be a knight jousting and stuff, and they're all rocking out to Queen and shit. Like they take this twist on the soundtrack where it doesn't actually fit the period of the movie, but it kind of fits the theme and the feel of the movie. And I think that it did that really well because this is an 80s Western, obviously. But the characters are great too. Like Kiefer Sutherland's character, the guy's a poet. He's trying to like win the love of this Chinese girl, which she's a total fictional in the story. But and even up till the very end where like he's like, I'm not a fighter, I'm a poet. But at the at the very end when they got him mount up after what's his name, Charlie gets married. And he's like, regulators mount up. He sets the book down because he knows like this is what I want to be and this is what I want to do, but I know what I am and this is where I'm at. So it's the futility of what they were in, kind of it's great storytelling.
Yeah. The movie is more of a cult classic than anything. Like a lot of critics don't really care for the movie. They kind of just chalk it up to being like a cheap sort of like Brat Pack type of movie.
Good. Yeah.
Good. But to be honest, the movie, according to Wikipedia here, the movie was deemed closer to history than a lot of other incarnations of the telling of the Lincoln County War. There's a New Mexico historian, Paul Andrew Hutton. He said Young Guns is the most historically accurate of all the Billy the Kid films. And that was back in like the 1990s. But that's a pretty...
Yeah, even with all the liberties they took.
Yeah.
Because it's very Hollywood. Like, I think the standoff at the end took a lot longer than like a day or a couple of hours, whatever it was. They were in that house.
Yeah.
Like it took a lot longer. And the whole Billy the Kid is a lefty. I think that's because some people say that the image is like flipped. So it's actually the gun is in his right hand. But in the movie, he's ambidextrous. He fucks with guns in both hands. So
I love that scene in the bar where he runs into the guy who was like the bounty hunter. And he's like, oh, you're looking for Billy the Kid, huh? He's like, I see him right here. There he is.
Yeah. There he is. Then he starts whistling the tune. That's a great scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, the relationship between Tunstall and Murphy was pretty close to the historical reality. The killings of Hill and McCluskey are also particularly close to the historical record as well. So, yeah, I mean, for just being sort of like a fun 80s sort of Brat Pack Hollywood movie of the time, like it does a lot of this stuff well. Apparently, there were some licenses taken, of course, like the age of John Tunstall, who was 24 when he died. He was played by Terrence Stamp at the time, who was 49. So that's, a little bit different. But yeah, overall, I mean, I really like this movie. I think it's fun. I think it holds up. I like the soundtrack, believe it or not. I think it's
me too.
It's like it somehow just fits. It's weird. I can't even describe it. It just works.
It's magic.
It is
I don't
magic.
get
It kind of is magic. Yeah, it just works. But yeah. So,
Are there a lot of funny westerns? It seems to be
not
like
that I know of, really, honestly.
kind of like
Funny
there's
Western.
like what's the
I
one
mean, there
with,
are certainly comedy westerns like there are horror westerns, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Usually they try
what's
and
the
take
one with
themselves seriously.
Val Kilmer?
Tombstone?
Tombstone, yeah. That's
Didn't you
kind of
just
funny.
watch that?
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's not like a comedy.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying this movie wasn't like a comedy, but it had a lot of funny moments in it. As well.
Okay. It definitely has some lighthearted points and some laughable points for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of westerns will do that. I mean, a lot of John Wayne movies will do that. So I think it's McClintock is just a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew, and it's about him bickering with his lady all the way up until the end, where he folds her over his knee and spanks her with a hairbrush. It's just, maybe you think that's not funny, but some of those scenes are pretty funny.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but it sounds funny.
Yeah.
All right. So you liked it then, Marvin, huh?
Oh yeah.
Didn't
Enjoyed
find
a
it
lot.
too
It's good.
cheesy?
No, not at all.
Will you watch the second one?
I would watch the second one. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know a lot of other like Billy the Kid movies. But I find that the lore of him, like the legend is I don't know, there's not a lot of like I don't know, there's not a lot of like stories like that where they end up like where they're real. Like he was like a real guy. Like
Yeah. No, I agree.
And like whether
Chisholm is another John Wayne movie where John Wayne is the lead, but Billy the Kid is in the movie
is
as
he?
a character in the story. Yeah, it's also a really good movie.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
But I don't know. There's not a whole lot of like Billy the Kid specific movies, just because the ones that were done, like who's going to make a Billy the Kid movie after Young Guns?
Yeah, that's true. I don't.
True.
Everybody loved it.
I don't historically like westerns because, like you said, Dusty, they do tend to take themselves a little too seriously.
They can.
But this one kind of works for me. I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's a Western, but it's like a Western only in like aesthetics. It's not really a Western. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's a Western.
Quick and the Dead has some lighthearted, funny moments in it too, but it tries to be serious as well.
Yeah. One of my favorite Westerns is, I can't even think of the name of it. The horror one, Bone Tomahawk. You've seen that, Dusty?
Yes.
That movie's
It's a great movie.
Great. Maybe we'll make Marvin watch that soon. Maybe we'll just go on a Western kick. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm always going to go back to Lonesome Dove as well. It's not a movie. It's a mini series. It's three
you've
films,
mentioned
I
that.
think. But great cast, man, very funny at times. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you've mentioned that. But yeah, so for a movie to come out of the 80s that blends all these genres together was a little bit cheesy. It surprisingly works. It has a little bit of heart to it by the end. There's a reason why it's a cult classic, and I think it does hold up. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say about it?
Give it a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
worth
give it a watch. Definitely worth it.
Let's see. So let's check.
The second one is definitely not as good, but it's worth a watch.
No, and I'm really curious to see how the third one would be.
Yeah.
The premise sounds cool. I mean, he's gonna be old as hell, but
Yeah.
Right.
so surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, Young Guns has a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes as the critics, but 76% for the audiences. So you know what that
See?
means?
Yep. Can't trust critics.
No, because they're fucking pretentious cocksuckers.
Mhm.
But the all-important IMDb gives it a 6.8. Where do we come in, boys?
Ooh.
I'm trying to think what I didn't like about the movie.
Yeah, is there anything you didn't like about it? Like, I don't know. There's really not that much. Like we've talked about that before of like, how do you rank something perfect? Well, if there's nothing you really liked about it, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't give this a perfect score because, like I said, you got to really fucking blow me away to get a perfect score. But there's nothing about this movie that I really don't like. I think everything about it pretty much works.
Yeah.
And it did what it wanted to do. It didn't set out to be like a fucking dead serious fucking Western.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like a fun movie of the and it knew what it wanted to be. So I mean, I would bump this up to an 8, to be honest. That's my score.
I would too. It's an 8
I
for
think
me.
I agree. It's like an 8 or 9.
Damn.
It's good. Yeah. I would
Very
rewatch
good.
this too. So
Yeah.
That's the thing. This is a fun movie that has rewatchability, and you don't even have to pay attention to it the second, third, or 15th time you watch it. You can put it on while you're doing something and just enjoy it for being on it because it's great.
That's how I watched it. I mean, I've seen. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yes,
but I remember it, and like I obviously I forget what I was doing while I was watching. I think I was like cleaning or something like that. I was paying attention, but like I wasn't like just sitting and watching it. I was like watching it while dusting and shit like that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's got super rewatchability for exactly that reason. But yeah, 8s across the board. That's
now
big.
you got to look see if you can find Tom Cruise in the end.
Yeah, I actually would have to go back to watch.
Spot the Tom Cruise.
He was in the standoff.
Yeah, he was when the armies showed up at the end. He's one of the soldiers.
Okay,
that's so random. That's hilarious.
That is pretty funny. And he wasn't even part of the Brat Pack.
No,
none of these guys really were, except for Emilio. But they're Brat Pack adjacent.
Sure.
Did you guys watch that documentary while it was on Hulu?
Well, Charlie was friends with all of them as well. Like I said, Rob Lowe and Sean Penn, they were all buddies. So
yeah, of course. There's a documentary, Marvin. We keep saying the Brat Pack. I don't know if you even have any context for what that is. Nope. But they were basically the group of actors from those John Hughes sort of films from back in the 80s. It was Andrew McCarthy, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, Emilio Estevez, Demi Moore.
Oh, okay.
John Cryer, Leah Thompson, Timothy Hutton, and Rob Lowe. And they all actually didn't really like the moniker, the Brat Pack, because they were they were taking acting seriously. That was what they were doing.
For sure, yeah.
And somebody it was a reporter in a newspaper called them the Brat Pack. It was a play on the term the Rat Pack, which was like the music people. And they didn't like the name because it made them less serious, right? So this documentary on Hulu kind of like documents that and catches up with all of them now in life. And like they talk about how they felt about it at the time, and they all sort of just like kind of ran away from it. But yeah, it's a cool documentary if you're into that sort of thing. I thought it was really good.
Shout out Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, the only person that wasn't in the documentary he refused to be interviewed for it was Judd Nelson. For some reason. But yeah, so there you have it, folks. Marvin watched Young Guns for the first time. If there's our thoughts on it, let us know yours down below.
Yeah.
We're always interested in hearing. Leave a comment on YouTube or wherever else you might be watching. We do this once a week most of the time, and we'll be back next week. We're watching... What are we watching next week? We're watching Mickey 18, right. Mickey 17.
Jesus. Yeah.
Wow.
The new Bong Joon-ho movie. Been looking forward to watching that.
I watched it. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. So join us next week, folks. If you want to watch along with us, I encourage you to join our Discord. It is free to do. We post our schedule there. We don't like spam you with alerts or whatever. Just it's a place for you to check out our schedule so you can watch along with us.
Yep.
We post links to like trailers and
and news,
entertainment news and stuff like that. So join us over there if you'd like. You could go to our website, harshlanguage.tv. All of our links are down there, including Discord. So feel free to do that. But otherwise, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next week.
Hasta.
See ya.